Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, in Zoom, or Facebook Live, or watching it in YouTube later. Thank you for taking the time to look inside. Had quite a powerful morning, actually. Um, both uh, both quite deep session in the morning of there is so much happening in the world, and I noticed that I usually kind of deflect it. I don't allow it to come in to me, the a lot of the harsh content. Um, but yesterday I did allow it to come in a little bit, and not consuming, but just not deflecting, not rejecting, not closing my gates, the gates of my heart into this content, and just listening, just hearing, and I felt this, I felt this quality of sadness from those high levels of disturbance and strong energies that are directed towards each other, not with kindness so much. And my experience in the morning was, um, I asked myself, what's my experience? Like, how am I feeling in regards to the different parts within me, the different elements within me? And and I've heard this voice. It was like, it was a bit painful, but it was like, Gilly, there is also internal conflicts. So how can you expect that everyone will be nice to each other when inside I'm not nice to each other? And and then I went and did a breathwork session, with my supervisor. And actually, it just finished half an hour ago, so I'm still noticing that that I'm under the influence of the breath. Some of you would know how it feels. Um, uh, Conscious connected breath, and an hour of HRV breath that we will do soon, but I guess more intense and longer in the frequency, and like in the time, the quantity, and in the intensity. Um, and it was a beautiful moment of there was a beautiful moment there of we have this power in our mind to direct the thought, and if I don't direct it intentionally, consciously, it would be directed to where the flow is going. And yeah, I'm here in the yurt in Tasmania, in the bush, and it's easy to isolate myself here. But the second that I open the computer or Facebook or whatever, just it feeds into me. So yeah, so the understanding, the experience of the memory, the reminder that I can direct my intentions and my conscious deliberately use all the goodness that there is in me and focus on that is a very powerful ability that we all have. And really the greatest ability and disability of the human mind is the fact that it could do it in a very sophisticated way. It could go and focus on the past or on the future, but also, it's a blessing. It's a wonderful. Everything that we come in contact with right now is from someone thought about the future, and it did not exist, but then they developed it and they planned it and they executed it, and there we go. We type on the computer, or we look at each other. It started from someone thinking about the future, about something that doesn't exist in the present moment. It's a beautiful gift, but also, oh no, what will happen in the world? I can sit right now in the present moment and worry so much about the future. So then my ability to focus my mind on the future can be a gift of creation, or it could be a gift of destruction. And similarly about the past, I can look at my notes and learn from it and be much more grounded and tuned in the present moment. Or I could look at my notes or memories, run them again and again, and ruminate about what had happened in an endless loop that soon after drags emotions of suffering, emotions that the way I relate to them leads to suffering. So in today's practice, we will cultivate this ability of ours to consciously focus on something in order to increase our ability to hone in what it is that we want. What it is that we want. And really, there are three things that are wonderful to experience. There are many more than three things, but in today we will focus on something that we experienced, that we felt either a lot of love towards another person or someone or an animal or a tree or anything, or when we felt a lot of love from that or from them. That's the first thing that we will focus on. The second thing that we'll focus on would be on any spiritual experience. Now, spiritual experience doesn't have to be something like, I was meditating and I felt enlightened. It can be, wow, I'm looking at the tree and I feel like I'm connecting to the life within this tree. Or I breathe the air and I feel revived by it. Or going to a football game and sitting with all the crowds, or in a concert, something that really is beyond the kind of a connection to something greater than just us. And the last thing is a joyful experience. And again, it doesn't have to be like huge. It could be the coffee this morning, or the tea this morning, or going to sleep, falling asleep. From something small to something huge, doesn't matter. What we do is we train our mind to deliberately go to specific places and almost learn how to have dedicated time in the day that this is what I'm doing. Why I'm doing it? Because when we are thinking of love, we are producing that. When we are thinking of spiritual connections, we are more in tune to receive spirituality or joy or love. So it's almost like we are a receptor. We always receive lots of frequencies, and mentally and emotionally and physically, things that the majority of it we're not aware of it. But like any receiver, it can be tuned like a tuner. It can be tuned. And if always around us there are all of these things, there is abundance of all of those things, if we tune ourselves to the suffering, for me is the news, really. This is what will be produced out of me also. If I tune myself for other things, I will find them. And how do we tune? With our consciousness. And how do we train our consciousness? With focus on specific things. And that's the intentions behind today's meditation. So we'll start with 5 minutes of just sitting in HRV, and then we'll move to consciously think, imagine, conjure those things. So let's start with finding any comfortable position. Anita, Stephanie, yeah, good to see you all. Simeon, wow, so many beautiful, beautiful people. Okay. Let's start with just soften the body. Soften the arms and the legs and the jaws and the eyes and the forehead. And taking a deep, slow breath in. And in the exhalation, just letting go maybe 5% more. In the inhalation, gently erecting the spinal cord, the spine, the neck, the head. And in the exhalation, letting go of the shoulders. Go in the exhalation, and the inhalation, it's as if we are kind of coming up out of the ground, out of the soil. Every exhalation, letting go. We start the practice with asking ourselves, how are we feeling right now? What is happening? What is happening in us right now? What can we feel in the body? What can we feel in our heart? What emotion is there in us right now? How is the mind operating? How is my mood? Energy levels? And dropping into the breath. Allowing it to go deeper and lower all the way to the abdomen. And soon you'll hear the sound of the Tibetan bowls. And if it fits you to breathe in that rhythm, please go ahead. And if not, for any reason, that's also totally fine. This is the sound of the inhalation, and this is the sound of the exhalation. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. All the way to the abdomen. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. So focusing on breathing in a specific way. Full breath. Belly, ribs, chest. And in the exhalation, chest deflate, ribs go in and belly in. And as you breathe, consciously, directly, just acknowledging the different things that are coming up. If it's a sensation in the body, an emotion, a thought. With every exhalation, letting go of the body, consciously relaxing, softening. Allowing the breath to breathe itself. You're still aware of the breath. I invite you to bring to mind a moment where you felt love. I invite you to really picture it. What you are wearing, what do you see, what do you feel? What do you smell? Something comes to mind, great. If nothing comes to mind, it's also all right. Just having the intentions of bringing the mind there. As you breathe, remembering a moment where you felt love, either love for someone or loved from someone, by someone. Now, I invite you to bring to mind a situation where you felt a spiritual moment, connected to something more than just you. Maybe reverence, maybe awe. Really bring to mind all the details. Who was there? You see, what did you feel, smell? What was it like? Now, I invite you to bring to mind a situation where you felt joy. Simple joy or extreme joy. From a little thing or a big thing. Doesn't matter. Bringing yourself back there. With your consciousness. As you breathe. And once again, going back to a moment where you felt love. Notice what you feel in the body. How did it feel in the body in that situation? What do you see? Moving to a moment of a spiritual experience. Same one or a different one. More and more details are revealing to you. The moment of joy. Moving yourself into a memory of a moment of joy. Taking a deep, slow breath in. And in the exhalation, letting go. Notice how you feel. And if it fits you, only if it fits you. You can ask yourself, what does it mean to you? What does it mean to you to be in a situation where you feel love? Spiritual connection, joy, taking a deep, slow breath in. And the next exhalation, letting go of this practice. When you feel ready, in your own time, as long as you would like, starting to make the way back. would like to bask a little bit more in that love and connection and joy, please feel free to just stay where you are. Also, acknowledging that at times we meet those things, and at times we meet what's in between us and those things. It is not less important. We want to love it all, to connect it, to connect to it all, and to find also joy in it all. Thank you very much.